first I need my coffee to tell this story. Okay, hello. So I wanted to make it's going to be a quick, short video, but I wanted to make sure that I film this because today is the 1-year anniversary of a pretty significant piece of our adoption story. And I've talked about it a little bit, and I've told a couple of people this story, but I'm going to forget the story if I don't film it. So this video is 100% for me in the future. If this is not interesting to you, that's okay. Again, this is for us. But 1 year ago today was the day that I was at the Toledo Zoo, and I really want to make sure I remember this because it means a lot, because a year ago today was kind of the day that I think locked in our decision to move forward with this. So I'm going to tell the story of the day at the Toledo Zoo. So this story actually starts much longer than 1 year ago. It starts when I was, I think, 8, I think is the age. The first time I went to the Toledo Zoo. The Toledo Zoo is about an hour from my house. And we went there a lot growing up. We have a zoo close to us, but we went to the Toledo Zoo too. And when I was little, we went one time and I had a life-changing experience with an orangutan named Baji. Baji was a 2-year-old orangutan when I went. I think I was 8 or 9. And Baji and I went to this orangutan exhibit when I was young, and I made my family stay at this orangutan exhibit for the rest of the day because I bonded with this baby orangutan named Baji, like I said. I played peekaboo with Baji, I played tag with Baji, I watched Baji play, I watched Baji eat, and we were playing tag where like he would touch the glass and then run, and then I would run after him, and then I would touch the glass and then he would run. We were playing peekaboo with each other, and it changed my whole life. It's one of my favorite memories of my entire life. It is why orangutans are my favorite animal. And it was just like this really, I was going to quit theater. I was going to be a zoologist that specialized in primates, specifically orangutans, specifically Baji if I could. I was obsessed with Baji. And like the experience when you're that young, it might not have been quite as special now, but when you're young like that and those things happen to you, it was like completely revolutionary to me. And so it just always, it was a really big deal. The Baji story was a really pivotal, important story in my childhood. I have gone to the Toledo Zoo a couple times since then and seen Baji every single time. Kyle and I went when we were both in grad school, and I didn't play with Baji, but I watched videos with another orangutan. She was at the glass, and she and I kept watching. I was showing her videos of baby orangutans, and if I took the phone away, she would knock on the glass. So I've just always, like, I've had a very special place in my heart for the orangutans at the Toledo Zoo. So fast forward to a year ago today. I go to the Toledo Zoo with 2 of my best friends, and it was like the best zoo day ever. It was not too hot, it was overcast but not cloudy, all the animals were out, it wasn't too busy, there weren't a lot of groups there, it was just like kind of the perfect zoo day. And I remember being like so excited to go see the orangutans, and my friend Kelly was like excited to go see the red panda, so we all had our animals that we were excited to go see, and of course mine was the orangutans. So when we get to the orangutans, I see Baji, and Baji is an old man now. He's got the big moon face, and I was like, oh, this is so beautiful. It was so good to see Baji. And then I go to the place where Baji was living, where I played with Baji that day, and there, sure enough, is another toddler orangutan. I don't know if he was the same age as Baji, but a little tiny orangutan was running around there, and there was a squirrel, and me and my friends stayed at that orangutan and watched this baby orangutan play for an hour, I think. We were there for so long, it was so entertaining. And we kept watching it, and we kept laughing, and I kept asking them, I was like, should we go? And it was just like, we couldn't drag ourselves away from it. A little bit of additional information. At this time last year, Kyle and I had started talking about, did we want to have biological children first, or did we want to adopt first? And we really didn't know, we couldn't figure it out. And we had kind of come to this place of just kind of saying, like, let's just wait until the answer's really clear to us. We stopped pushing. We weren't pushing to find an answer. I was certainly not pushing Kyle one way. He was certainly not pushing me one way. We just kind of said, let's take our hands off the wheel for a second and kind of see what happens. And I am a big believer in, like, the universe, or maybe it's God, or I don't know, but, like, you are sent signs, or, like, you are sent the answer if you are meant to know the answer. I strongly believe that. And so we were just kind of like, let's just wait until the answer is really clear to us. So this was happening at this time last year. Kyle and I hadn't spoken about whether or not we should adopt or have biological children in a really long time. When we went to the zoo, the conversation had just kind of ended. We were just kind of waiting. Which brings us to what happened the day we were at the orangutan exhibit. So we were watching the toddler orangutan play, and I see a dad walk over, and he parks his stroller next to me, and I was like, oh, that's funny, there's more room over there, but that's okay. And then I hear him ask the little kid in the stroller, do you see the orangutan, do you see the monkey? And I hear a little girl go, no. And my friends get annoyed with me because I am a teacher and I work with kids, and so when a kid doesn't see something that I see, I, like, will get down even if I don't know the kid and be like, it's over there. So I was like, I looked down, I was like, the monkey's right there. And I look down, and it's this, like, beautiful little 2-year-old, maybe 3-year-old girl with Down syndrome. And I remember just, like, going, there's a child with Down syndrome at my favorite place in the world, which is the orangutan exhibit at the Toledo Zoo. How very random. I know it's not actually random, but it felt random. And I just remember, like, I didn't say anything. I didn't tell my friends. I don't even think I immediately said anything to Kyle. But I just kind of went, I think that was a significant moment. And so we left the exhibit. We went on with our day. I did talk to the little girl with Down syndrome for quite a few minutes and made sure she saw the monkey. But I just went on with my day after that. So after that happened, we kept walking, kept having the greatest zoo day. And I texted Kyle, and I was like, I ran into a little girl with Down syndrome at what was Baji's place. And his response was something along the lines of, oh, is that our answer? Was that it? I think that was it. And I just remember being like, yeah, I think that was it. And I also can recognize that that was a completely spontaneous experience, and that coincidence probably played a bigger role into it. And because Kyle and I think at that point were leaning towards adoption, and adoption for us always meant adopting a child with Down syndrome, that I think we were just kind of hoping to find the answer, and just hoping that we didn't feel like we had to make it, that it was clear enough to us that what it was supposed to be. And so that moment happened, and I think almost instantly after that, there was almost no question that it was what we wanted to do, and that it's what we were going to be moving forward with. And it's a funny story to me, and it probably, people watching this are just going to probably be like, oh, she ran into a little girl with Down syndrome at a zoo where there are children, therefore there are children with Down syndrome at a zoo. But I don't know. It's a story that we tell and that we feel was very important to our family. And so I wanted to make sure that I document it, because that's what this channel is for, is to document our journey and our experiences. And the day at the Toledo Zoo was a big day for us. It was 1 year ago today. And that's really cool to think about. And I think about that little girl sometimes, and part of me was always like, I wonder if that means I'm supposed to have a little girl with Down syndrome. Like, are we going to adopt a girl? But we did not, and I wouldn't change it for the world. And yeah, that's my Toledo Zoo story. It's very short and sweet, but that story is what propelled us into the path that led us to George, and so that's kind of fun to think about. So again, I doubt anybody's watching this one because it's not exciting, but I can't wait to watch this and remember, and I hope that I have not forgotten about it, but not thought about this story in a few years when I watch this, and I'm pleasantly reminded of the really cool story that it was. So if anybody else is watching except for Taylor in 10 years, go ahead and like and subscribe. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm going to continue to drink my coffee. George is sound asleep. And Kyle's on his way home from work. So that's all I got. See you later.